We then get a scene on the Tempest where everyone voices their opinions before going after the Archon. That is, they have side missions they recommend, or hopefully subplots, it's not entirely sure what yet. This is probably the highlight of the gameplay as well as the storytelling. The player gets more freedom to choose, they get to interact with their crew more, and there's the potential for subplots to occur. Now, subplots are just plots that branch off and then reconnect in the main plot and hopefully influence it in some way. The goal is pretty much the same, the plot's the same, but another character can take the lead, and it all works if it has a character arc or some MacGuffin or something that we hope has to do with the main story. If not, then it's just a side story or a random quest. This is very common in RPGs when you're given a clear goal on what to do, but you decide to go in the exact opposite direction because there's more story than just the main one. This is in hopes that you would provide different outcomes in the main story in the future because the ones you get from backtracking or completing those will influence this one somehow. Unfortunately, there's only two other options. Drax wants to go to Eladin because there's some Krogan colony issue there, and PB talks about activity in the Ramov system, which isn't even a goal or suggestion, it's just hearsay on who knows what exactly. Apparently there's a potential Turian Golden World there, but is finding Turian Golden Worlds high on our priority list? Since our new plot point is to stop the Archon, then no, it's absolutely not. And who cares about Krogan colonies? Those weren't one of the main species on the Arcs. While it's potential these stories can become subplots, this current scene isn't describing why these options are important or giving a good enough reason how they're connected. And all they really had to say was, well, if we help these people, they're going to help us stop the Archon, or find this or that to help us stop the Archon, find the artifact, whatever. That's all they had to do, and they couldn't even tell us that. So we give the Geth transponder iPad thing to our engineer, who has absolutely no problems putting in batteries, and we open a channel directly to the bad guys. Great.
Did you connect the...
Shit, turn it off.
Thanks, Gil.
Careful. That is a direct line to people who want to murder everyone on this ship.
So why did you even hand it to us? And why didn't you immediately turn it off?
Sam?
I have the coordinates. The signal points to the Tafino system.
And Sam saves the day again. Can we do anything without Sam? I think we're completely retarded without him. We're like babies. Even our own engineer is rendered useless and incompetent. If it ever gets made, the next Mass Effect game will probably just be a series of ED clones with Michael Fassbender voice acting. Anyway, the signal just points to the Tafino system. And there's a good talk about Drax, about the need to stop the Archon. Scott comments on his work protecting colonies back in the Milky Way. That's a good thing. A little bit of backstory there. There's another touching talk with Jal about family, how this is his new family, and how Jal feels like he has a purpose on this ship. Then you talk to him a second time, and he reacts like this.
We've talked enough for now. I'm still processing our disagreement, and I need some distance. We'll talk later. I'm unhappy with us right now.
Like, whoa, what's going on here? We just talked like a second ago. I think he's referring to blowing up the facility with all the Angara in the pods. But why didn't he mention that in our previous conversation? I mean, he was just praising us about saving the Moshai, and now he suddenly wants distance from us? What the hell is wrong with this? I mean, obviously this is a writing problem. It's as if the writers didn't conceive of knowing how to write a scene based on our choices that flowed naturally from Jal being thankful to saving the Moshai, as well as disagreeing with us by blowing up the facility in the same scene. It's like there were two writers here who weren't paying attention, or one writer who just did not understand what he was writing, or worse, didn't even care. Lexi gets excited slicing up exalted Angara ket cadavers. Kylo likes flying, and he likes the Nexus now. Suvi licked the rock. Gil likes poker. Vetra and her sister had a rough childhood. and that Kadara has a bunch of resources she can use to get stuff for people on the Nexus, which would probably help us out a lot, since the Nexus needs stuff, but, it's just idle chit-chat. Cora hates the Ket and misses her Asari friends, and what am I forgetting here? So we found the coordinates to the Ket ship via Sam, and it appears to have taken over the Solarian Ark. We discovered the Solarian Pathfinder just so happens to be boarding the ship with us as well, in hopes of rescuing whatever survivors from the Ket ship they can find. Also, due to Sam, we've suppressed security alerts so we can board it in stealth. And it appears the relic we're after, I think that's what we're trying to do here, is in the Archon's private quarters. Okay. So in between firefights and skirmishes, we find the Ket have the firepower and plans to blow away the Solarian Ark. I'm not sure whether I need to have a plan. You just shoot the thing until it blows up. I mean, whatever. The big display, sure, why not? There's also this certain weapon that you can have performing a 360 spinning melee move. It's so redundantly ridiculous. I just can't stop looking at it. Then Sam overrides security for the Solarian team, even though their Sam can't seem to do it for them, even though they have the same capacities. Whatever. Oh, right, and the Solarian Pathfinder is a female, which, according to lore, is very rare, though I guess being in a position of Pathfinder makes sense, even though they're supposed to be cloistered and protected within their culture. Then there's Venral, or Venra, over here, who used to repair FTL drives? Wait. That's clearly a female voice, though the dialogue says it's a Solarian colonist. Maybe the initiative was kinda a big culture shift for these guys? Anyway, with whatever limited resources they've got, they're going to plant an EMP on the ship to cause a distraction, to get everyone off and escape into the Solarian Ark and the Tempest.
Why are we still keeping our voices low?
We're sneaking onto an enemy ship.
Who already know we're here.
Yeah, well, old habits die hard.
Now, this is funny and self-deprecating and very observant. That's all good stuff. But this line is poking a hole where it shouldn't, because this serious mission suddenly got the wind knocked out of it as you realize you're on a big ship full of enemies, and they're not doing a very good job stopping you regardless of whether you're sneaking or shouting or fighting or whatever. You've had a series of firefights, so what are they trying to do here? This implies the enemy knows you're here, just doesn't care, is leading you into a trap of some sort, or is seriously underestimating you. And since there's no option to keep it professional, it deflates the tension. If it gave the player the option to maintain a serious stealth attitude, that would bring it back. But instead it just breaks it down. By the way, we're playing a video game here. We can't be bothered to make the enemy appear serious, or you for that matter, or for you to do anything about the near future. Then we get this attempt at humor.
The system is asking for your authorization. How do you wish to respond?
Gosad, nura, torak, shura.
Really?
Nokra.
Access denied.
Intruders have been spotted on the ship. We need to secure this area.
Access granted.
So the door doesn't open when we talk gibberish, but does open by us talking English with a Ket voice filter. I guess some things are not possible when Sam is involved? Does any of this make sense? We get another scene behind glass where we see some Solarian experiment going on and we can't do anything about it and it goes dark. I think this is pretty much a video game staple at this point, that all third-person or first-person games have a scene behind glass you just watch. And then we get stuck in some immobilizing field, and the Archon injects us with a scanner thing in our bloodstream, and with Bond villain logic, he leaves the room, which, as we know, is stupid. Worse yet, we get this scene.
I'm sensing a biological transmitter in your bloodstream now, attempting to neutralize it.
Okay, that's priority 2 for sure. Any idea how to break out of this?
The containment fields only interact with living matter. If you expire, the field around you will extinguish until manually reset. As you know, my access to your physiology allows me to enhance your vital signals when required. I can also do the opposite.
Whoa. Kinda don't want to die today, Sam.
After stopping your heart, I would attempt to resuscitate, of course.
Are there any other options?
None that I can determine.
Alright, let's do it.
First off, how the devil does Sam know how this alien containment technology thing works? Did he hack into something and read the manual? And if he can read the manual, can he do anything else? He also stated living matter is affected. But even after the brain processes stop, such as the autonomic nervous system sending signals to the heart to, be a heart, the rest of the tissues of your body will continue to function and live for hours, like your brain. If they didn't, we wouldn't be able to have any kind of transplants or other forms of medicine related to harvesting organs. While clinically you'll be dead, this is based on some alien containment sensor thing determining what that means or what that is to an alien. Does it only care about the heartbeat? Do we know that for sure? I mean, what aspect of brain activity is it looking for, too? Because the brain will still be operating, just in a very limited capacity as it stops receiving blood. What specifically about stopping our heart will cause the scanner to see us as dead? Is it just a pulse? Does it have some specific way of determining that? Now, this is a very complex topic, and while I am against Sam having this ridiculously godly ability to solve every single hurdle we come across, provided all the facts are on the table and the science fiction is explained, then okay, I can believe it. As repetitive as Sam's being the solution to everything. But additionally, Sam can sense a biological transmitter in our bloodstream that the Archon just injected us with, and is attempting to neutralize it. How? Does he turn on the natural autoimmune response? If so, do we start having a high fever and coughing fit? Do we have a bunch of nanomachines running around our circulatory system, acting as like super white blood cells? Wouldn't it have been simply more believable for Sam to start sending a false signal to the alien containment sensor thing to make it think like we're dead, instead of actually stopping our heart? No? He has to kill us?
Ryder, you're crazy.
You better come back.
Stopping your heart. Now.
So, Scott dies, is inexplicably freed from the containment field, and then gets resuscitated by Sam. We have some weird blue flashbacks or something, which I don't even know why that was on the screen. Hopefully they'll mention it later. Scott just goes to the console and presses a button and everyone is free. So that happened.